This is John McQuay with 8541 Tactical, and this is Mail Call Mondays, the show that answers your questions about precision rifles, optics, and equipment. Well, folks, this Mail Call Mondays, we're going to talk about firearm safety, and not just the 4 cardinal safety rules, which of course are: treat every weapon as if it were loaded, never point a weapon at anything you don't intend to shoot, keep your fingers straight and off the trigger until you're ready to fire, and know your target and what lies beyond. Those 4 cardinal safety rules apply to pretty much any weapon system you're going to work with. Now, the weapon system I have in front of me is an AK pattern rifle. This is actually a Wasser 10 that we've done some things to, and we've covered those in the past. Some of you may have guessed the reason that I have an AK pattern rifle in front of me is we're going to talk about the negligent discharge that Travis Haley had that was the center of a firestorm earlier this month when the video was inadvertently released. Now, for those of you that have not seen the video, what it basically showed is Travis Haley was doing a block of instruction for Panteo, and Panteo does a bunch of online training videos. They're very good, very high quality, very well produced videos. I'm a subscriber to them myself, and I highly suggest you check those out. And we'll leave a link to Panteo down below. However, through a partnership, Travis was doing some instruction for Panteo. It was being recorded for later production and upload to the web. And Travis had a negligent discharge. During the instruction, he was talking about Russian techniques and where they place their trigger finger. And during that, they were using a hot weapon. Weapon was loaded. It did have a round in the chamber. While they were doing it, because of the content of the instruction, Travis was demonstrating with the weapon on fire, because this is how that weapon system is run in that specific instance. And this had him placing his finger in and around the trigger guard. What appears to happen by looking at the video is there was a slip and he hooked the trigger. And of course, this rifle is clear. We physically and visually verified, and there is no ammunition here. But anyway, during the demonstration, Travis's finger slipped and it went off. There happened to be a live round in the chamber. The round discharged, and thankfully, no one in the crew was forward of the muzzle in line with the bullet. In the video that Panteo released subsequent to this with their statement, actually showed several different camera angles. It was a composite, which is what we usually do when we shoot multi-camera videos. So you can get a pretty good idea of the 180-degree field of view around the camera crew. Now, I'm not doing this to lambast Travis Haley at all. I think he is an excellent instructor. The reason I'm talking about this in this video is because I want you guys to understand that no one is above mistakes. And that's why when we are doing things with firearms, we need to double and triple check. And if there is any question at all, like you saw me do here, prior to rolling the camera, I made sure this weapon was clear when I set it out here and started setting up to film today. Before I pressed that trigger, I made sure that I cleared this weapon again, because I really don't want a 7.62 bullet ripping through the wall of my house and possibly injuring someone or exiting the structure and injuring someone outside the structure. So we double and triple check. Now, when we are filming, depending upon what we're filming, there are special considerations there. A lot of times you guys don't get to see what's going on behind the camera. So a camera angle that may look dangerous, it may be a remote camera that doesn't actually have an operator behind it. I've done this frequently when I want to get a shot looking back at the shooter from forward of the muzzle. We'll set a remote camera up. There's no operator behind the camera, and so it is a completely safe shot. If the absolute worst should happen and a bullet should go through the camera, we lose a very expensive piece of gear, but no one gets hurt. Same thing with target cameras downrange. Those are almost always remote cameras, and if they are not remote cameras, then it is someone behind a berm where it is impossible for a bullet to reach them. So you have to take extra effort. Now, when you're on a larger set, time is money, and sometimes things get rushed a little bit. I don't do a lot of work with larger camera sets. Usually it's just my time or my wife's time, so we can take a little bit extra time to double check things. But it could be a little bit easier to overlook things. The big concern that I have over the Panteo video is I understand that the portion of instruction was meant to be a non-firing segment that they were filming, as evidenced by the fact that Travis had his ears off, and later in the Panteo statement, which we'll link to down below, they also stated that their crew did not have eyes and ears on, so no one intended it to be a live fire portion. My question then comes, why was there a magazine of rounds and why was there a round in the rifle? It's very simple. If you're going to do a block of instruction where you don't need to fire the rifle to clear it. The AK is one of those platforms where even if you take a magazine with no rounds in it, which this one is no rounds in it, and insert it into the rifle, you can still cycle the bolt without the bolt locking back. So you can still demonstrate whatever you need to demonstrate. If you want it to look like the weapon is live, you can still have a live magazine in it. However, for that period of instruction, it would have been very simple just to jettison the live magazine onto the deck, visually and physically verify to make sure that the weapon is clear, and then you're good to go. And then when he was demonstrating the technique of applying pressure to the forward trigger guard, when he slipped, all you would have heard is, oops, I slipped, and go back and either use that as a teaching point or fix that. Now, hindsight is always 20/20, so of course I can make these comments having watched the video and understand that. However, it's something that's paramount in my mind when I'm filming. There have been situations where I have needed to be in front of a rifle running a camera, either for one of our more artsy segments, or I did this when we did our SHOT Show demo reel and Sarah was actually on the rifle, and I did a really nice cinematic slide move in front of the rifle, and it had me moving the camera and my body in front of the muzzle of the rifle while Sarah is on the gun, apparently ready to fire. Well, the way we filmed that, of course, is I made sure that the weapon was clear, she made sure that the weapon was clear, that there was no ammunition in it, so it was perfectly safe for me to do the slide shot. I was still in front of the muzzle, but that was necessary to get the shot without actually using a dummy rifle instead of a live rifle. So extra steps are taken because you know this is a potentially dangerous situation. And that was a failing on that side. And to Panteo's credit, in their statement, they owned that one. They said ultimately they are responsible, which they're filming, they're the production crew, they're responsible for the safety on the set. Likewise, in a statement that Travis released, which I will also link to below, he owned his portion of it. So what this ends up being is, for us, it ends up being another chance for us to look at what we're doing and remember that even professionals screw up from time to time, so we really, really need to double check what we're doing. If there's any question, triple check. It's a whole lot easier to take the extra second, extra minute, extra 10 minutes you need to verify that you have a safe situation than it is to make an emergency room or make funeral arrangements. So again, I don't make this video to embarrass anybody. I don't make this video to call anybody names. It was an accident. Call it accident, call it negligence, if you will. But it is a learning situation. I have been thankful in my time that the only negligent discharges that I have been while the rifle is oriented downrange and not necessarily yet on target. But I have not had a negligent discharge that has endangered anyone in any way because I take extra steps to make sure that I'm clear. If I'm ever back in a safe area or a non-firing area and I need to do gun handling, then we triple, quadruple check. If you have a buddy standing by, you have your buddy double check you to make sure that that weapon is clear. Every training accident that I have ever heard of where someone has been shot in a non-firing area, it's because someone did not take the extra time to verify that that gun was loaded, or someone forgot to treat the weapon like it was loaded. So that's really enough of me harping on this. I just kind of wanted to bring this to light because of all the mudslinging that went on the internet surrounding it. I wanted to put out Travis's side of it and Panteo's side of it. And I still respect Travis as an instructor. I think he does a very good job. He has some really good techniques and some really good periods of instruction. I haven't got a chance to take any of his classes personally yet, but from his online instruction and his videos, I think he does an excellent job. So no ding on him. I obviously believe that he's going to use this as a learning situation, and this also brings to light something for those of us that are in the video production realm. You need to make sure that videos that you don't want public are locked down. Placing them on YouTube and just marking them as private is not locked down. I will very typically do that with our videos if I have something that is produced and it's ready to go live, but I don't want it to go live right at that minute. Then it is on our website and either marked as unlisted or marked as private, but it is still on the web and ready to go. I would never put anything out there that I don't expect you guys are going to see at some point in time. We make errors, we make boo-boos on videos from time to time. You guys have seen some of the videos that I've released where either I forgot and left a clip at the end on the timeline and it went and rendered out anyway, or something that maybe I didn't see or didn't get an edit that I wanted to get, and because I was on a time crunch, that got produced and got rolled out. Usually they're pretty funny. They're just me doing something stupid that I had expected to get cut out, but it's not anything embarrassing or unsafe. It's just kind of funny when you see it. But if you do video production, make sure that you are not putting anything on YouTube that you don't expect the world to see, no matter how you mark it. So that's about it. Next Monday, we will take regular questions, and I think what we are going to start doing on our questions to give everybody an equal chance of getting questions in is we're just going to take them from the comments section below. So if you want to send us a comment or a question for next Mail Call Mondays, put it at the bottom of this video. Now, please be careful if you're watching this video weeks and weeks later, or months later, or years later, because we are on season 5 now. Please go to the latest video and put your question under the latest video. That does a couple of things. That makes you go forward and maybe your question's been answered in one of our previous Mail Call Mondays. But it also gives me one place to look at instead of having to go back and try to look through 5 years worth of videos. Even with the YouTube comment system, there are days when I may get 100, 150 comments on our videos. So trying to correlate a week's worth of those questions and pick out which ones I'm going to do makes it a little difficult. So I will pick from the previous video. So make sure you put your comments or your questions under the right video. Feel free to comment on any video that we produced. I do see most of them. If I see it in a timely manner, then I very often do reply to it, even if it's a video that is quite a few years old. So thank you guys for watching, even watching that older stuff. Some guys have commented it's really interesting to see how we progressed on our production quality and how we progressed on my on-camera presence. So go back and take a look at some of that stuff and see how far we've come, and that'll give you an idea of how far we have yet to go in the future. That's all I have for this Mail Call Mondays. Thank you guys for watching. Leave your questions and comments in the comments section below, or if you want to, go ahead and visit us on Facebook or Twitter. Also, remember, we do have an Instagram feed out there, so if you guys want to see some of the stuff that we're doing out at the range or some of the stuff that we are doing in between videos, make sure you subscribe to our Instagram feed, because we'll throw all kinds of photos up there. Photos of stuff that I'm doing out in everyday life too. So all kinds of stuff on our Instagram feed, and we'll leave that link down below. Until next time, get out and shoot.